Hey, Jarek here, and Warhammer 40k has always confused me. It does extremely well on the nerdy side of things, for lack of a better word. Not saying that negatively. Its tabletop games have a huge following, and people really into 40k want to cram in every bit of knowledge of its lore into their brain. Somehow, they really get into it. And then you talk about people that are spending small fortunes to get the figurines, or large fortunes to get these figurines. It's become crack at that point, except crack is cheaper. Yeah, this is a pretty healthy franchise monetarily. But there's one thing they never really did, and that was fully embraced action games. Because I don't really care about this side of 40k. I'm not really into the more nerdy stuff. Again, not meaning that negatively, just lack of a better word. What I saw was a franchise with a ton of different species, a ton of different planets, so much cool detail to it, a ton of huge, ridiculous, over-the-top weapons, and guys in suits of armor that are so dumb they might as well be walking tanks. All of this stuff is perfect for a shooter, but they just didn't really make shooters in the Warhammer franchise, and the few they did were either bad or mediocre at best. The one exception was Space Marine, which came out over a decade ago and most of us thought we would never get a sequel. I mean, hell, Space Marine was so good, some of this influence got put into Doom with its glory kill system. But this is no Republic Commando. That cliffhanger is going to have an ending because Space Marine 2 is coming out soon.
We can make it! Keep going!
Oh my god, this game looks so good. More importantly to this video, the thing that I thought they should have made forever ago, the no-brainer, is just a straight up boomer shooter. And a year ago, we finally got that with Boltgun. Yeah, it's really been a year. I'll put my initial video of Boltgun in the top right if you want to check that out, but I'll give you a quick recap. Boltgun was fantastic. It plays pretty much like Doom 2016. It is over the top in a way that you would expect from 40k. Every step you take shakes a screen with suitable audio to boot. If you want to, you can even Goomba stomp people. You have a nice wide arsenal of weapons and good variety with your enemies. Again, Boltgun, great game. If you haven't played it already, go buy it. But as of today, they have launched their DLC, Forges of Corruption. The ending of Boltgun kind of left things open to expand, but it did feel suitably end-worthy. So where are they going with this DLC?
You are the Emperor's chosen. You are the death of heretics. In the Emperor's name, let none survive.
Yeah, so you're back on Graya cleaning things up. That's pretty much all you get. You won't see another cutscene until you beat the DLC entirely. And you know what? That's fine. You don't really need deep, in-depth story when it comes to a game like this. It's a boomer shooter. You have enemies, you have a large gun, kill they ass. With that said, there isn't nothing here. The best qualities of the base game come back for this DLC. And even though the cutscenes you get are short, I just like looking at them. There's a certain style for these cutscenes. Outside of these cutscenes, there's plenty of environmental storytelling. I would frequently walk into a new area and then stop to kind of glance around at the massive architecture around me. This is a good looking DLC. Yes, they are going for the more retro look, but even that is still impressive. This isn't a game that runs on GZ Doom. This runs on a newer version of Unreal. This is a modern engine, trying to feel and look like an old engine. They nailed that feel, but this also means that they removed some of the jank you would get by playing a GZ Doom game. Not that I have anything against GZ Doom games, I love me some GZ Doom. I did just praise Sulaco and have been praising Sulaco for years now. My point here is that the base game feels like a AAA game. There's lots of content, and it's incredibly polished. Okay, well, feels like a AAA game from 2008, because we all know AAA games aren't exactly that polished nowadays. Unless they come from, like, id and almost no one else. Point being, game very pretty. I never had any crashing issues, there's plenty of settings, the DLC is just as polished as the base game, you shouldn't have any issues here. Also, it's just eye candy in general. I imagine some of you are yelling at me, shut up and get to the gameplay, I don't care. So, here's the gameplay. If you were asking what the point of the DLC was, well, it's just more. It kind of reminds me of old expansion packs. You get 2 to 3 hours more of the base game. with a few additions. Those additions come in the form of 2 new weapons. The first one is just a rocket launcher. Yeah, its design is honestly kind of boring. It's a rocket launcher. But when you shoot it, yeah, I'm not complaining about that. That makes such a big fireball that it makes it difficult to see where the enemy went. Usually there's nothing left of it. The second new weapon though is just, oh my lord. This is about as overpowered and as over the top as you would expect from a 40k game. This is the multi-melta gun. Yeah, just in case you thought a melta gun wasn't strong enough, here's 2 of them. This easily is my favorite gun in the game. It is just so dumb. This does change the core gameplay a little bit though, because you have a lot more firepower now. Hey, you remember these guys? These guys that when you down them, they could come back and just royally fuck you up? Yeah, this multi-melta gun kind of just invalidates their entire tactic. You can't revive if there's nothing left of you, bitch. You might be saying that this makes the game too easy, but not really. It just serves the same role as a BFG. You don't get unlimited ammo for it, so you gotta think when you want to use it. And by the end of the game, they will be throwing multiple tough enemies at you, so you can't use it as a crutch. Other than these 2 new additions, not really anything has been changed to the game. A few small fixes. For example, a big complaint I had with the base game is that it was hard to tell when you were low on health, but they've added some more effects, so I didn't really have that problem anymore. So be expecting these grand large maps with hundreds of enemies and a couple of new weapons. It doesn't rewrite the rules, but do you really need to purge some heretics? And in case you don't want to buy the DLC, there's some fresh new free content coming alongside it. A Horde mode, which people have been requesting for a long time. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a Horde mode. I really don't have a whole lot to say. So yeah, the DLC is pretty good, but I do have one bit of criticism. This has spoilers, so spoiler warning, skip forward to this time if you don't want to get spoiled. All right, let's skip them a little bit, let them click. Let the people that are laying down in bed watching the video, not next to their computer, get up and, click forward. I see you, I know what you're doing. All right, they're gone. The final battle of this DLC is kind of annoying. It requires you to break 2 magic rocks that will give a force field to one big magic rock, then you can destroy the magic rock, and that beats the game. In order to destroy the force fields blocking the magic rock, you need to beat some strong enemies in the area, which then you can destroy the magic rock. So basically, beat 2 bosses, force fields go down, then you can start shooting at the big main massive rock. Problem is, once those shields go down, they randomly come back up, off and on, for no reason. I don't know where they're getting their power from. I don't know why. This is really annoying. And during this time, enemies don't stop spawning. There's so many of them. It would be fine if the force field didn't come back up off and on constantly, but the fact that it keeps coming back puts you on the back foot a little too much. It's really close to being fine, but I honestly found myself a little more annoyed than enjoying this fight. But that's it. That's the only complaint I have with this DLC. It's solid, it's incredibly well polished, it looks good, it's fun. If you enjoyed Boltgun, just go buy it. Hey, huge thanks to my YouTube members. If you click that join button next to the subscribe button, then you'll be able to see my videos early and get a shout out at the end of my videos. Huge thanks to all of you that join me over on Twitch while streaming. I have a lot of fun over there just hanging out. And a huge thanks to all of you that watched this video. If you're still watching now at the very end, you probably like this video. Consider clicking subscribe down there. Thanks again. See you next time.